There is no doubt that every player's dream is to play for their national team and win titles with them, but many find international breaks boring and waste of time, especially during friendlies. Football fans don't like them, club coaches hate them, and players annoy them. But why? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this video, so keep watching until the end. Let's get started. There are several reasons why many people dislike international breaks, especially coaches, but injuries are perhaps the most worrying thing for any club and any coach, because many players go on to play important and fateful matches for their country, which leads sometimes to serious injuries. And every year there are players who get injured during these periods, and that's what causes clubs to lose them when they need them so badly. In addition, some players are not called up to their national team, either because they are not good enough, or they have problems with the coach, or because of the large number of competitors on their position, or just sometimes their national team has not qualified for the competition, such as the World Cup. In all cases, whatever the reason, they feel frustrated and go a long time without playing football in the highest competition, sometimes more than a month, which leads to a drop in their level. There are also players who are in good form with their club, but once the international break is over, they return in shattered state of mind because they have lost a competition or failed to qualify for one. We all remember Mohamed Salah when he lost the African Cup final to Senegal in 2021, where he returned to Liverpool devastated after starting the season very well, and his thing deteriorated further when he failed to qualify for the World Cup in the same year and against the same opponent, and it took a long time for him to regain his form. As in 2006, Arsene Wenger compared national team coaches to a thief who steals your car from your garage without your knowledge, and he said what national team coaches do is steal a car from your garage without taking the permission, use it for 10 days and throw it on the side of the road in a bad condition and without any fuel. Then we fix it, and a month later they come back and steal it again, and we have to be nice about it. Of course, the players aren't cars, they are the ones who choose to play for their homeland, but many forget that it's the clubs that pay their salaries, because they play for the love of their country and not for the money, and if they receive any bonuses, they only represent a small percentage of what they earn with the clubs, and the majority of players refuse to accept them. And there are a lot of clubs who are going well in the league or in any competition, and suddenly the international break comes along and breaks that streak of giving that they are used to, and when they come back, the players are not as they were for the reason we mentioned before, or for no reason, because when you interrupt someone doing something, they don't come back doing it as they were. It's also an opportunity for other clubs who are going through a tough few weeks, meaning they will think about new plans during this period and other things. It always comes at a sensitive time in the season, because it's at these times that clubs need the utmost concentration, and one competition that many coaches hate is the African Cup of Nations, where they lose in January their best players during a sensitive period and for a month. It's also an obstacle for the African players themselves, because many big clubs refuse or hesitate to sign an African player because they will lose him for a month at the African Cup, and he may come back injured or mentally broken. So I think the competition schedule should be changed, or the other leagues should stop at that point, but I don't think they can. It's just Africa, no one cares about them. I think the reason behind the timing is the high temperature in the summer, so I think the stadiums should be air conditioned, or when they are in less hot countries, the games will be in summer. I don't know. The important thing is that they find a solution, because this will benefit Africa and African professional players more than anyone else. And sometimes the player has got used to a certain style of play with the club, and the international break comes and change with the national team. Of course, these are professionals who get used to any style quickly, but it can upset the coaches, which takes a lot of time to get them to to master his way of playing, and someone comes along to destroy everything he has built up. They also play a lot of matches in a short space of time, sometimes traveling to distant countries and facing different weather conditions, which makes the players uncomfortable and tired. Also, many football fans get bored during these periods because they are used to watching top-class matches every week, and something suddenly breaks this routine. But this varies from country to country, where there is a national team that knows it will qualify for any competition before the matches start, and therefore feels no passion or need to follow the game. On the other hand, there is also a very weak team, which knows it's going to lose, and therefore doesn't like these international breaks, because they remind them of how weak their national team is. So I think that the one who feels excited is the one who has doubt about his national team, or he has the hope that they are going to do something different. But while the international break has many negative aspects, it also has many positive sides that you may not be aware of. As we have already said, a team going through a difficult period with negative results always looks forward to this period, as it gives the coaches a chance to catch their breath from the criticism hanging over the team, and to think about new solutions and an opportunity to put things right. Last year it was Liverpool, now it's Chelsea, and if you watch this video in the future, maybe it's another club, because there is always a club that it saves, even for a short period of time. It's also the only time when you agree with your friends who support the opposing team, because you are united with your national team and you all want to win, even if you don't agree on which players have been called up, and you argue about why one player is called up and not another. But it's nice to agree even once in football, not to mention that it's an opportunity to discover new talent who play for small clubs that aren't promoted by the media and don't know much about them, so we discover them through major competitions like the World Cup and other continental competitions. So there are many players who have moved to a big club because they shine with their country. There are also players who are relaunching their career with their national team after losing confidence with their clubs. Also, for football fans outside Europe, this is their only chance to see their great players on the pitch, when all year round they play in Europe, and it's unfair, as well as people who just love club football, who sometimes get tired of so many games, and to have the opportunity to reignite that passion while we look forward to the games. But after all we have said, watching your national team play is a unique experience, so enjoy it as much as you can.